could only imagine what it was like being on such an amazing set as the Goonies, especially given the opportunities that you were given between just going out there just to see the shoot, babysitting at Sean Astin for a little while, and then ultimately getting to work on it yourself. That is an absolute amazing opportunity for anybody.
Well, the sets were truly amazing. Michael Riva, the production designer, was just a genius, and the pirate ship it was practical. And nowadays, of course, it would be you build part of the platform, and then the rest would be digitally added. But this was a practical set, and for a while, up until Hook, um, was the talk of L.A. Everybody wanted to come and see the pirate ship. So to be on a production that had that kind of production value and that kind of spectacle was truly amazing. But all the sets, I mean, even the basement set was amazing. The attic, the organ chamber, the water slide. Um,
Yes.
we had a great time because on stage 15 where Conan O'Brien used to do his show, was where we built the wishing well, and the wishing well had the log you crossed and then went up to the organ chamber, which went to the water slide, which came down and emptied out into the wishing well. So it was kind of a round robin thing. And after work, some days we would go up and put our bathing suits on and ride the water slide. I mean, why should the kids have all the fun, you know? So
Absolutely.
yeah, but yeah, it was amazingly um, kinetic, just being on those sets and realizing that you're making a movie. I mean, you're exporting magic, and um, that's never left me. I mean, no matter how old I get, I will always um, uh, feel like a kid again whenever I see, an amazing set. But yeah, it was great, and there was so much going on in the lot at the time. In fact, right across from stage 15, which was next to the stage where the pirate ship was, right across the alley was they were shooting Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh,
And
wow.
so when the kids had a break, they would all flock over to see Pee-wee and um, take see his sets. And Stephen, sometimes the kids wouldn't be there, and the ADs had their hands full. So Stephen said, "I want you to make sure that you know where the kids are all the time." And so I became known on the set as the Goonie Wrangler or the Kid Wrangler, um, which was which was no easy feat because it was like herding cats. Um, the Dick forbid the kids to see the pirate ship while it was under construction. He wanted them to see it for the first time on camera and get their reactions. And it was just it was a full-time job just making sure that Sean or Corey, or Key or, didn't go over and sneak a peek. So, yeah, there were a lot of moving parts. But it was a blast.
Who was the worst one that you had to babysit trying to keep from seeing a pirate ship?
Well, probably Sean. I mean, he would get some sugar in him, and he'd be off like a rocket.
Oh,
And
no.
but he says he didn't, and I will believe him. But he got awfully close, and I think actually the one who I thought would be the last one was Corey, and he actually I think did see it. So,
Oh,
um,
God.
but they're actors; they can make it look like they're seeing it for the first time after seeing it a dozen times. So.
Of course, of course. Has there ever been a set that you've been on that has been as mysterious and what's coming next as the Goonies?
The only other set that I've been on, and one that I worked on, was Harry Potter. We were shooting at a abandoned Rolls-Royce engine factory that made jet engines during World War II, or engines during World War II, and it was in pitiful shape. But George had used it for the Phantom Menace, and I think they filmed one of the James Bond movies,
Wow.
Pierce Brosnan's first go around as Bond. And so there was a lot of space. I mean, it was a huge, huge building. And down at the end of this runway was a whole nother building, which is where the Hogwarts model and the chess set and the chamber where he confronts Voldemort
Wow.
was. But going into the Great Hall, or the Enchanted Forest, I still have pictures of those that I took that we really weren't supposed to take. But it was hard to resist. It was such an amazing set, and that was probably the last time that I thought this is old Hollywood magic. It'll probably never be the same again. And even though they filled out some of the sets, with mats and things like that, it was still impressive just what was built, and never got tired of going onto the set.
It's amazing when you see sets like Harry Potter and the Goonies, and especially when you watch them for the first time as a kid, because it truly gets you into, as you said earlier, the magic of filmmaking. It gets you into seeing the magic, into believing in it, and into actually understanding where it's coming from.
Hmm.
Which actually kind of leads me to my next question for you. Um, you mentioned earlier that you wrote a book.
Yes,
Um, I was wondering if you could tell us what that's about a little bit.
sure. For years after, I mean, after I left Warner Brothers, I I kind of semi-retired. I mean, I've worked on a couple of projects since then, but Hollywood was changing, and it just didn't hold the immediate allure that it had. It was, and maybe I was just getting old. Um, but all during that time, and after I kind of um, took a sabbatical, people kept saying, you should write a book. I mean, I would tell stories about the set and of the films, and people would say, yeah, you should definitely write a book. You need to write it down. And my godchildren um, said, Uncle Mark, we want something to remember you by when you're gone. And so, I am a famous procrastinator, but I started working on an outline. I thought I won't even have enough. It might be a coloring book because I don't have that many pages. Um, but I started working on an outline, which took about a year, trying to remember everything that I could possibly remember, and it was a lot. And so I thought, okay, well, let me try this, and I started working on the first chapter, and it just started coming pretty easy. And all the events, anecdotes, and adventures. Some were embarrassing. Some, were pretty profound, at least to me. Um, and before I knew it, I had almost 400 pages. So it's not the whole of my experiences. It's the ones I can remember the best. And I still kind of once in a while remember one here and there that I didn't put in the book, or somebody will send me a photo of time on the set, and it'll spark a memory. But generally, it just covers all the films I've been involved in, to one extent or the other. And I call it a love letter to the industry because it really was. It was, a decades long love affair with an industry that I love. And I know that I couldn't have done anything else that would have been as fulfilling, um, except maybe brain surgery, but I don't like blood. And I guess I could say I'm proud of the book. Um, I don't know what people think of it. I mean, I've seen a couple of reviews and they've been good, but it's a specialty thing. I mean, it's not war or anything else. It's the film industry, and so it's kind of an inside baseball type thing. But hopefully, people will see that real people in it, and will see some behind the scenes stuff that they never would have seen or read anywhere else. So hopefully it speaks to people.
I think it absolutely will. Could you give us the name of the book?
It's called Goonies, Droids, and Killer Whales.
I love it.
Um, I was toying with Goonies, Droids, and flying brooms or whatever, but since Willy was such a big project for me, and I kind of chart Keiko's course through the book, and so yeah, that just seemed kind of the natural one to do. But yeah, it's on Amazon right now. The Kindle version's available too, and I've started working on an audio version.
You guys heard him. Please go check it out on Amazon, on Kindle when it's out. It's out on Kindle right now.
Yes,
And check out the audio version once he's ready to release it. Please check out his work. I think you guys will absolutely love it.
I appreciate
Um,
that.
if I may, you said earlier that your career started from reading a book, right? And all these years later, you got to write your own book where people get to read.
It's a good
That
point.
is such an amazing full circle of inspiration meeting accomplishments.
I never thought about that, but thank you for that. That's very true. And that book still inspires me. Yeah, I think you can still get it, but back then, for a kid in a landlocked state like Oklahoma, who thought being in the film industry was about as possible as going to the moon, being an astronaut, it really opened my eyes, and I hope the my book does that too, because it was a different time in the industry, and so many possibilities, so many films that were being made at the time that are classics now, like Back to the Future, things like that. It was just another production that was being filmed. So, um, yeah, I hope people see it also as a history book and a great time. And the people that I got to interact with, in addition to Stephen, George, and Donner and Chris Columbus, um, Tex, I got to meet my hero Tex Avery, who created Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and Porky Pig,
Wow.
and work with him a little bit before he passed away, and Captain Kangaroo and all these people that influenced my childhood. So that was kind of an added bonus.
That's your luck and opportunity. Somebody once said, luck is when opportunity meets preparation. And it sounds like you had all the preparation in the world when the opportunity came to you.
That and I fell into it. I mean, I tripped over myself and fell into some great opportunities. And believe me, I don't and never will take that for granted.
So I have one more question for you today.
Yeah.
Um, what advice do you have for those looking to get into the field? And if you could talk to your kid self today, what would he say to you? It's such an amazing career that you've had.
Uh, well, first of all, the thing I would say to my kid self is make sure you always zip up. And there's a story in the book about failure to do that, which I thought was going to cost me um, my job. But um, uh, I think my advice is probably the same as every other filmmaker who has worked in the industry, and that is watch a lot of movies, and not just ones that are in color. Watch black and white. Watch pre-1977 movies, because it's a whole world, a whole wide world. When you realize just the movies that were made in the 70s, how unique they were, and go back through the decades, study filmmakers. Secondly, make your own movies. If you have a smartphone, you've got a movie studio right there.
Absolutely.
You've got a camera. You can. I can't edit on a phone, but kids today can. The important thing is tell a story. Um, Story is the most important thing of all, and we have always needed and will always need stories to enrich our life. So do do that. Just do it where you are. As Jerry Lewis said in his book, he said it, back then when it was Super 8 or 16, he said it doesn't have to be color, it doesn't have to be sound, it doesn't have to be anything. Just do it. And so I totally agree with him. Become educated. Study English. Study history. You don't have to study filmmaking because you've got so much knowledge at your fingertips that you can learn. And just write it out because this too shall pass as far as the problems in the industry with streaming and COVID and everything else. It's a very uneasy time.
Yes.
And there's going to be a new normal. We don't know what that new normal is going to be, but fortunately, you don't need a studio lot to make a movie. You just need nature, um,
Yes.
or the inside of a building, and you need your friends as cast members, and then show those movies that you make, whether they're short films or animation or whatever. Show them, and you will get noticed. Now you've got distribution with a thing called YouTube. So there's really no reason not to do it. You've got everything at your fingertips, so just do it.
You got it. I love that piece of advice. Well, Mark, thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh, my pleasure,
Um,
Sean.
I would love to have you back on and discuss more about what it was like working with film and working with what you guys worked with back in the 70s and the 80s versus today. I would love to have that conversation at a later
Certainly,
date.
certainly, anytime.
Ladies and gentlemen, please go check out his book. It's called The Goonies, Droids, and Killer Whales. Out now on Amazon, Kindle, and soon to be on audio. So go check it out and please leave a review as soon as you read it. Mark, thank you so much, and we will see you real soon.
Thank you, Sean. It was a pleasure.